Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Whoa, what is that? Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, September 1st, and if you were unsure if it's officially week 1 or not, it's September. So it is football season. We are out of August. We're here. It's arrived, and it delivered. Well, sort of. I mean, let's be honest. It was football. I'm not going to dog that, but it's week one of college football, right? It's one of those that it gets here, and you're like, all right, now let's get to week 2.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 games that everybody's looking forward to, and other than that, it's just
And even those
garbage.
yeah.
Yeah, didn't end up being great games, but
we're here, and that's the important part. Is
the good thing is it's not over. There's still 2 more games that maybe could help it or make it worse. We'll see.
Sure. I've got the LSU USC game going right now. It looks like it could be a close game right now, the way it's rolling.
Yeah, LSU stormed down the field and then went for
Yeah.
it and didn't get it.
Don't stop throwing the ball to Kyron Lacey. Just every down, it looks like. Just throw it to him.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
Mhm.
Keep it simple. Yeah, it's week 1. There's also games tomorrow night. So, yeah, I mean, we're here. We've arrived. Fun week 1, though, for Tennessee fans. Disclaimer for this episode. I think I speak for Landon in this. Everything we say, we know about this week when we recap Chattanooga, about Tennessee, about how they looked, about their potential, all of that. We know that they played Chattanooga, an FCS team.
Mhm.
We are aware of that. We are taking everything with a grain of salt. If we say we're excited about this guy, he looked good, yada, 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 it is with the thought and knowing that Tennessee played the Chattanooga Mocs yesterday. And comparatively to most every team Tennessee will play this year, probably every team, because you do have Kent State, UTEP, and Vanderbilt, but they are better than Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
Not by much, looking at Vanderbilt, but they are better. So I understand that. And so a lot of people will want to down yesterday's game. Well, let's wait till next week. Sure. Let's wait. Sure. But they played. We got to actually see them in action. They still had to go out there and play against another team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think that's a good disclaimer. We'll probably still mention it at times, but just to cover the full episode of Tennessee football, we are aware of their opponent yesterday.
Yes. But here's the thing. Yes, I agree. Kind of take everything with a grain of salt, sure. But if a 66-point win, if you don't do that against Chattanooga, you're not going to do it against anybody else. So
yeah, no, for sure.
They went out there and took care of business, and I think that's what the main thing out of yesterday is, I mean, I hate to say a dress rehearsal, but it was kind of that way, dress rehearsal. Routes on air, and you played a lot of bodies. Kind of get that first, I think with the new technology and with the redshirt freshman quarterback and just you've had some issues during fall camp that you didn't really want to, risk, guys in camp and stuff like that. So kind of getting that whole offensive line together was good. Sure. Seeing the big plays. The timing looked good. I just think operational Tennessee looked really good. Now, yes, it was against Chattanooga, but everything looked pretty sound to me.
Sure. You mentioned it and then you gave the reasons for it, but you got it right off the rip there. The name of the game for this week was take care of business, and Tennessee did that. And that encapsulates a lot of what you talked about. But that was the overarching theme. You go in and at 12:45, it's business time, and you got to do what is expected of you. And they did that. They absolutely did that. That doesn't mean everything was perfect. That doesn't mean everything was good. Doesn't mean you didn't have some moments you'd like to do differently. Both, I'm sure, for Josh Heupel and a lot of guys on the field. But 66 points, you took care of business. And so, yeah, I'm not going to sit here. I am going to sit here and say that Tennessee has a Heisman candidate on their roster for 100% fact, and his name is Ethan Davis. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I like it. I'm fired up for it. I like to see Tennessee win football games. You're only guaranteed 12 of them this year. So yeah, I'll enjoy the first one for sure.
Yeah, you got to. And yeah, like next week is the game you're kind of pointing to, but we've seen a lot of games over the years where Tennessee can't take care of business against a lesser opponent. So it was nice to see that. And I think my main takeaway from yesterday, and sorry if we're kind of going in this a little sooner than we wanted to, but my main takeaway was just the big plays and the big plays in the middle of the field. That was something that was lacking last year. I think Tennessee had 8 plays over 20-plus yards. Just yesterday, I think Tennessee had a total of 53 of those last season. So I think that is headed in the right direction. Again, know who the opponent is. But, I mean, those throws that Nico was making, I mean, I don't care who the freaking opponent is.
If anybody from a kid watching football for the first time to an NFL scout, some of those throws that he hit yesterday, and there weren't a lot of them. He played one half of football, but some of those throws he had yesterday, if you see those against air in practice, you're going, wow, that's pretty good. I like that. The first one to Dante Thornton was just, yep, that's real. That's Nico. Or I think it might have been actually a second catch.
Yeah, the touchdown.
It was the touchdown. I think it was actually a second catch of the game. But anyone loves that throw. Anyone is. I mean, scouts are calling their GM if they see that throw in practice. Mm-hmm. And so to do it just against any opponent is fine. You take your wins where you can get them. I think I played 3 10-year-olds in online NCAA last night, and we demolished them. And you know what, Landon? The win still counted, and I'm excited about it.
There you go. Yeah, who cares?
Can't tell me nothing. Mm-hmm. I as far as and yeah, I guess we can kind of start talking about takeaways. I think when you look at every position that you were quote unquote sure about and excited about, they offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, quarterback, running back took care of business yesterday. And I think that's reassuring as you got to go to next week and do something similar at those positions. But to say, oh, we're excited for them, and then after this game, you're not turning around and going, they struggled at times against an FCS opponent. You're not having that conversation. And that's comforting. Obviously, still want to see that get ironed out going forward, but you're not panicked. You're not thinking, oh, what could happen next week. It feels nice to kind of know what you have going into NC State and Charlotte next week.
Yeah, like there was no like glaring like red flags to any position.
Sure.
I mean, I think the secondary is something that people just have a red flag up in general every season, probably with this
hand up. Probably will be every game for me.
Yeah,
they could catch 3 interceptions next week, and I'm still gonna be all right. Like, yeah, is this real? Is it happening? And right. I don't think that's unfair currently.
Right, and that was probably the one position yesterday that you learned the least amount.
Sure,
just because I mean they knew James Pierce and that defensive line was on the opposite side, and they were not.
Hold-
They were getting it out as fast as possible.
You said we learned the least about it, but Will Brooks led the team in tackles. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying this, but it was funny, and I did think it on one play. So I'm not. This isn't an endorsement of the tweet, but someone tweeted Will Brooks led the team with all tackles, and I think he was out of position for every single one of those. I was like, that's funny. One of them, I don't remember the play specifically. It was either like a toss or something where they got it outside the tackles real quick, and Will Brooks was right there. And I wondered, is he supposed to be right there? Seems crazy, but maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen let me get the all 22 and we'll break it down and find out.
Yeah.
Get the Connor Stallions version of events and we'll see.
I still got to watch that documentary.
Yeah, I don't go out of your way to do it, but yeah, just when when you get time.
Okay.
But I don't want to dig into Connor Stallions. That's not why I'm asking this. So you actually mentioned earlier on the new technology, the headsets and helmets. I wondered this yesterday as I was watching games and you see quarterbacks trying to listen. I wonder how usable that's going to be at Tennessee when they play Florida and Alabama, at Georgia when Tennessee comes to town. SEC stadiums where it is a different version of loud because they struggle in NFL stadiums, 60 to 80,000 seats that get loud. And so I don't know what that will be like. You saw Virginia Tech struggle at Vanderbilt Stadium yesterday to hear. So I wonder that. And then is Tennessee still using signals? How do the wide receivers get the play call right now?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure they still have signals. And maybe that technology is just like I don't know, is it used more of just like, here's the play call for Nico and he's just able to relay that, but also
he can get it to running backs and offensive line, no problem.
Yeah.
The wide receivers, I just thought about that later yesterday, so I didn't even look. I didn't think to look. I just assumed headset because that's the new technology.
I don't know how like many people were at that Ireland game between Georgia Tech and Florida State, but you saw Haynes King, he couldn't hear anything. So yeah, I just have a hard time thinking like in those type of big games and especially like big moments, like, are you even going to be able to hear in that thing?
It is going to be fun to see if Tennessee can get a delay a game where the quarterback's just you're going to have to, he has to run to the sideline to get the play. We're back early 2000s. Even, that's about the last time I think I've seen a quarterback run in a play.
Yeah.
In college football.
I think if Tennessee gets a delay of game, I think that's when Josh Heupel's like, all right, get it out of our helmets. We don't need it.
Well, and that's the thing too I think we talked about it. I'm sorry. I don't want to go into the Connor Stallions thing real quick. You got to change signals often for so many reasons. That's one of them, but it's easy to pick up on signals in a game, let alone if you're doing what Connor Stallions is doing. So it's kind of one of those things. If it's not broken, don't fix it sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then it almost seems like it would be easier if you're only giving signals to one group on the field.
Yeah.
And so I don't see it. The Tennessee can look at it, should be able to look at it and say, well, this isn't a problem. We'll still relay to our wide receivers. We can have the ability to go to signals if we have trouble with the technology. Because that's the thing too, is everyone has to have the ability. I got to imagine, I don't know the rules. I got to imagine it's the same with coaches' headsets. If one headset's out, if one team's headset's out, they have to go no headsets for both teams. And so I got to imagine you have signals ready to go.
I think you have to just in case, but I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I'm curious about it. I'm curious to see if I meant to look yesterday and I just.
So you didn't notice the black tarps to block the background so they could see them?
Not a whole lot. I think there was some of it, but not. I didn't notice anything different. So I was wondering if there was anything different with what Tennessee was doing, but I didn't.
Oh, so it looked like last year is what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
I don't think there was anything really different. I mean,
So they are signaling them at least to one group, if
Correct.
not everybody. Okay.
yeah. So,
Gotcha. I told you yesterday too. There was I can't remember what game it was now, but oftentimes you'll have not the black backgrounds that Tennessee has, but you'll have a guy holding like a banner flag covering from the opponent's press box, covering the signals. Someone was following an offensive coordinator on the sidelines yesterday with one of those banners, I guess, to get rid of lip readers. We cannot let lip readers start hacking this.
honestly, like if that was somebody's job, like
To lip reading
coordinator, that would be awesome.
Oh, 100%. And that's the thing too, is about signals. There's obviously signals, you have to have more football knowledge because you have to, most of the signals are pretty, someone's used that signal before probably.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And then you to be able to relay it quickly, you have to have the football knowledge to understand what they're calling that signal.
Mm-hmm.
With lip readers, you could just have a guy there that's a really good lip reader and have a guy next to him and tell him exactly what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look out. This could be the next scandal.
Yeah, I'm not good at it at all.
It's actually just deaf people doing this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That would be interesting. I mean, inclusion, I guess. I
Sure.
don't know.
Sure. We had a blonde long snapper actually played at USC.
That's right.
The next step. That was more of a tangent than I expected. I apologize.
You're good.
It's just things I think about when the game's over, and there's nothing really carefree, very much carefree after the game.
That was fun. That was nice. Didn't really have to worry about it at all. It was kind of over after the first touchdown. But it was interesting to me that Tennessee didn't even have them do a single drive with the starters in the second half.
I think it's maybe it's more tradition where oftentimes in games like that, usually the starters will do one more drive coming out of halftime for whatever reason. Want to see something else, want to see a look, maybe run a 2-minute drill, something. There's a reason for it. I don't know if Josh Heupel just kind of said, hey, we've done all we need to do. No point in risking injury. Let's hang it up for the day. And I don't necessarily fault that, but it is one of those things. It's almost, we got a taste of it. I wanted more. I wanted one more serving of Nico.
Yeah. It's funny because it's unlike Josh Heupel too, to not play those guys. Cause you're always just like, he teeters the line. It's like, dude, am I going to have to call you like Sandra Bullock and be like, get them out of the game?
And
lip read
I think
this.
if we found out he was addicted to NCAA football, I wouldn't be surprised because he's like me. If I get press coverage late in the game, I'm throwing all goes. If I get throw an interception, who cares? Game's over. But we're going tutties only is the idea,
right?
And so it was unlike him. You're right. Maybe he keeps the foot on the gas against other teams in the second half this year.
But doing that, you do have the opportunity to run your complete offense with the backups. Like it's not just trying to chew clock. Maybe you get that way in the fourth quarter, but in the third quarter, I don't think there's anything wrong with running your entire offense through backups.
Absolutely. And I think it probably, because in the first half you had, I know Deshaun Bishop, Deshaun Bishop got a snap with Nico, got a few snaps.
Mm-hmm.
You had a ton of wide receiver rotation with Nico. And so I think if that wasn't the case, I think that's one of those where it's let the second, third team guys run first team reps kind of deal. Yeah. Where that happened or in the first half, it's one of those I'm with you. Let your guy who's one snap away from being your starting quarterback play. You're right, play offense, not just hand the ball off.
Right. And that was something that was interesting. They did play a lot of guys, so I think if we did learn anything this week, that Tennessee's depth is real. I think they have running backs, especially when they're healthy. I think they got tons of receivers.
Gaston Moore, buddy, it might be spring year round in East Tennessee from now on. He threw 2 touchdowns touchdowns in spring ball. That's all I'm saying. Those are spring ball touchdowns.
Yeah, they throw it a little sooner. And
I think the first one's on Brazel. You got to know where you're at. I think he could have gotten a foot down. It's not 2 feet. It's not the NFL. I think he could have gotten a foot down.
Yeah, he was just so open that he was just
He was a little confused.
I gotta be in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a tad sooner. And
There was
those are
also
no doubters.
that interception you saw yesterday, Georgia versus Clemson. Obviously they're not on the same day, but catch of the weekend USC just made. That was incredible.
I tried to turn on my TV and Hulu had me log in. I got to type in the email address, so I just didn't have time.
That sucks on the streaming services. You can't just always. Obviously, for the most part, it stays logged in, but every once in a while, it'll do something.
Also, having to type it in on a remote sucks.
Oh, you can't do the QR code thing?
Not on Hulu.
Oh,
apparently
that sucks.
Yeah, on everything else you can.
YouTube TV, I can do it on my phone all the time. So
yeah,
I'll have to. That's nice. Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah, it usually connects through Wi-Fi, but
even better.
I don't know what. Maybe the power went out and it just reset everything. I don't know. Stupid.
Running back depth, though. I mean, buddy, that's in a season where you're like, see number one, your number two guys who's really impressive, been banged up. That's nerve wracking. Your number three guy, I love, but I'm not going to try to make the whole world love him. I'm just let's see him first, and you'll love him. I promise. But not a ton of experience between the two backups there. Very reassuring to see them go in and just play really good football. Look explosive. Hit holes hard.
I was a little confused. I'm like, who is 18? Because Deshaun Bishop has not worn 18 at all.
25 last
year?
Yeah.
But I was like, it's got to be him. I'm like, who else is it?
Did you ask that guy behind you?
Yeah. There is. I mean, he might listen to the show. I don't know. Maybe probably not. But, I mean, this guy had no clue who was who. He was like,
and I told you I don't fault him because there have been a lot of number changes and it is confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But just look it up.
Yeah,
Danny White gave you Wi-Fi, brother. Just pull out the phone or buy a program.
Well, he complained about Brew McCoy first. He was like, "Brew McCoy, is it? I thought he was 15." And somebody's like, "I think he switched to 5." He was like, "Why is he running a reverse? Doesn't he have a destroyed ankle? And we're just gonna put him back out there?" I'm like, "I don't think he's out there if he's still got a broken ankle."
That was a long time ago, guy. Those things recover. Yeah. Which Brew McCoy, his number is not the most deceiving thing about him. It's his body. I mean, he has undergone a transformation, and it's not. He just looks thinner, more. Not that he didn't look athletic before, but just looks more receiver athletic. Still his shoulders are huge and his arms are huge, but very much a thin frame. Looks quicker. Brew McCoy the injury might have been the best thing for Brew McCoy's career.
Yeah, like Tommy John.
Yeah,
comes out there
and shatter your ankle.
Yeah,
works out.
It was definitely more of making guys miss than just running straight through them.
And he's, I mean, it looks like he can still get physical. He certainly isn't afraid to get physical.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm with you. That was when he got the reverse, I was like, that is kind of weird. But then watching him through the rest of the game, I was like, I mean, he looks
light on his feet,
quick as everybody else out there.
Don't get this statement wrong. He is still a dog.
Yeah,
but he might have added some cat in there, light on his feet, just those quick movements. He might have a mixture of both. It's like it's like a jaguar
fall straight down when he tried to lunge for him. I mean, I'm with that guy. I probably would have done the same thing watching his film from last year. I'm like, he's just going to try to run over me, so I'm going to go after his legs. And Brew McCoy had something for him.
Yeah, Brew McCoy is. I think I've turned to. I mean, I guess Nico was who I was most excited for. Deshaun Bishop, another Dylan Sampson. It might be after yesterday. I mean, it's weird. We've seen pictures of him, obviously, in practice and some videos. I don't know if it was just seeing him with everyone else, and you get to see the body transformation. But I think I'm most excited for Brew McCoy.
There was another time that guy behind me. I thought he was gonna just blow up when Boo Carter had like the pass breakup, almost had a sack there, hit the quarterback, and everybody said boo. And he was like, are we saying Brew? Was he out on defense? And then somebody's like, oh, I think that's Boo Carter.
I feel for this guy. I get it. I feel for him.
Mind blown. It was way too much for him. I thought he was just going to get up and leave at that moment.
I get it. I can't disagree. That's confusing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of confusing aspects.
If you're a casual fan.
Did he think Squirrel was playing defensive tackle?
Probably, yeah. Elijah Simmons. Who the heck is Elijah Simmons? Yeah, he poor guy. He had a rough day yesterday. But again, I mentioned earlier, this was a dress rehearsal. So hopefully he comes back against Kent State and he's got them all down.
Yeah, he's not making the trip to Charlotte, just be confused for 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm shocked he was at the beginning of the game. He was wondering who was wearing gray. Why did Chattanooga run out of our tunnel?
And I hate being that guy that just like corrects people because I don't like to do that. So he just keeps asking and asking and asking. I just still sit there. But there was one time I was like, yeah, Squirrel White's number 3. He was like, oh, okay.
Okay, but you got excited that maybe D. Williams had another COVID year like I did on the punt return.
Yes.
I was like, that's my first thought. I knew.
And then we had another number 3.
I mean, we didn't see Squirrel return punts last year because he didn't have to. Yeah, he caught that punt return. He's back. He resurrected.
Yeah.
And he moved a little like D. I mean, he looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little mean of Josh and Squirrel to even do that.
And Jermond McCoy. He was back there at number 3 at one point. I think I
think I probably thought that was Squirrel. I don't think I realized that was McCoy.
Yeah, he just had little dreads out of the back. That's the only reason you knew that. Yeah, that was that was fun sitting in front of that guy. I mean, he was absolutely mind blown by everything going on.
And the defensive change in terms of how many guys rotated through was hard to keep up with. It was tough. I give that guy some credit. He was asking questions. He wanted to know.
Yeah, I don't think you could really see like who was out there at every point in time.
No, it was if someone made a tackle that you didn't know had played yet, like, oh, they got in the game. They might have played for 2 drives prior to that. They just hadn't made a tackle, so you didn't know.
Yeah. I think that's another thing I don't really like about the gray uniforms, especially in person. Like you can't tell what numbers.
No, not at all.
Especially like the linemen. The 62s and 74s on offense on the offensive line, you have no clue.
When I told you I hate the rolled up yesterday, I hate this isn't a lineman thing. Well, maybe some defensive linemen. They show their back plate, and I know it's an old man take, but you have a number for a reason. Don't make it hard to read.
Correct.
James Pierce only played 10 snaps. Monty said, yeah, I mean, sure. I don't know if some people are upset by that. I don't know if you guys have heard of a freight train named Tyree West. James Pierce, he had an easy day. He can go to Charlotte 100%.
Yeah, he's still going to be a top 5 pick regardless of how much he plays.
Why? Listen, I don't watch a lot of bull riding, so this is a lot of guessing. But I mean, you don't bring in some young buck that's hardly ridden and just put him on the premier bull. UTC doesn't get the benefit of going against James Pierce for 50 snaps.
Yeah,
they don't get to do that. Grayson McCall just gets to feel his wrath.
Correct. Yeah, let's film.
Yeah.
Tread on the tires. Here's the thing. I mean, that defensive line with, I mean, I don't know who's a starter and who's not. I know James Pierce is absolutely going to be a starter. Other than that, I mean, I guess Tyree West has kind of carved his way into that starting role, but Rodney Garner is very, he doesn't care who it is. And so if you didn't practice well, like that walkthrough before, you're probably not going to start. So I don't think they really have a pecking order besides James Pierce.
Or Joshua Joseph. You forgot the
yes. Or Caleb Herring or Jordan Ross, who Tutty, first game.
Yeah.
What a start.
Yeah. Quite
I mean, they could have just snapped it to Jordan Ross and made it easier.
Save some time. Yeah. That was a fun.
I think even Jordan Ross was like, I mean, no one touched me.
He was shocked how fast he got there, I think.
Yeah, I think he could have caught the snap if he really wanted to, but I don't know if you get the credit for a block kick if you take the snap.
Yeah, he waited.
Yeah.
Because there's not a stat for that. Exactly.
Right.
I mean, it's a fumble recovery, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing.
But I think like for 4 quarters, like if I'm NC State, I'm like, dude, I mean, what are we gonna do? I mean, I think Chattanooga ran like a couple plays and they took a timeout, put Tyree West in the game, and then he caused a fumble. So it's like, I mean, I don't. How do you game plan that?
That Tyree West had 2 massive hits where I'm thinking, there's not a time in any life I would ever live that I would want to line up across the ball from Tyree West.
No.
He hits people harder than any Tennessee player in recent memory I can think of.
I mean, props to the quarterback for getting up after that sack because he took a beating.
Why did nobody fix his shoulder pad? It got like ripped over, like, tucked under it the first. And I was like, he just looks kind of sad and beat up for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And I get he is sad and beat up, but maybe don't look it.
Well, I think it was the game plan. I mean, he held it for a half a second too long.
Hey, I will say which I think we talked about this, their time of possession last season was one of the highest, I think, in the SoCon.
Yes.
Their first drive out of the half, I think they had it for 4 minutes.
Oh, really?
It was close. I'll look at it. It was I mean, they ran the ball a lot and ran the play clock down. But it's one of those.
Please get me out of here.
That was their field goal drive. They had it for almost 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that was
they
the drive.
kicked the field goal at 10-10.
I think they had one play over 20 yards, and I think it was on that drive. It was a pass play.
Yeah, and so you against a team that much better than you, it's hard for them to really. That is a payday for them, and that is it. Hard to get a lot of good, but you look at drives like that, and you think to yourself, I did at least, okay, maybe they will be one of the better in the SoCon. Which the team that was picked to finish, I think a lot of people, I don't remember who got the most picks, was Furman, who also got taken out to the woodshed by Ole Miss.
Yeah. Poor SoCon teams.
Hey,
but they're fun in their athletic department. So
ETSU made it interesting with App State for a while. Not all of them played bad.
So did Idaho. Made it interesting with Oregon. I know we're going to get in college football.
That's not a SoCon team.
No, but they're a team that should
get dog walked. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, $550 for an. We've paid more teams more than that. I think the UT athletic department needs to take care of our in-state opponents better. I've noticed our in-state opponents don't get paid as good as the others. That's a system school too. That's part of the UT system. They need to take care of them better.
Well, it's a privilege to play us, Caleb.
Well, sure, but let's.
Yeah,
we hurt some feelings.
He said might have covered the medical bills.
Yeah, on paper, but talk to any NCAA athlete, they certainly will not.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were no, and you don't want it. There were no negatives for me yesterday. There's nowhere I looked and thought,
no,
that's not good.
I do think it is. I know Nico, lit the world on fire yesterday with his throws and his poise and his escapability out of the pocket to just kind of make things happen and extend plays. but I don't like it. I like the hype for myself. I don't want the national media like crowning him. Like Tom Fornelli goes on.
Pardon my take on Wednesday. I think.
Yeah, and crown Nico as the best quarterback in the country. I'm like, okay, Tom, keep it to yourself. I know,
You shut up.
but shut up. Yeah, yeah. I just want to keep it a secret a little bit longer.
Let me spin zone this. All the media still think Tennessee is a pass first football team. Now you have Tom Fornelli just sell on. He's trying to get other people to buy on Nico. We go in, we buy the dip. We buy Dylan Sampson. No one's talking Dylan Sampson. No one's talking this Tennessee running back. No one's talking a potential 3-headed monster with Cam Seldon and Deshaun Bishop. We buy the running back room, baby. They're going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just going to be a common thing for Tennessee, I think, is like, yeah, fast-paced offense, but also you're going to have a really good running game because that's what keeps everything going. I thought he looked really good. I thought the offensive line looked good yesterday. Making holes, creating creases. I like how they just kind of do that zone stuff, but they also can pull a tight end that's motioning across, and they'll pull some linemen every now and then, but usually it's on the running back to kind of find that hole and find that crease. And I thought Dylan Sampson and Deshaun Bishop did a really good job of that yesterday.
Absolutely. Golly, dude.
Tutty?
Yeah, Lacey. Kyron Lacey is good.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's something in the water at LSU.
Yeah. Yeah. They've got to figure it out.
Yeah, hopefully we get to I think we're on our way to getting to that point. Maybe.
For sure.
You just got to see more guys produce in the league. But, I mean, I think yesterday was big to see young guys, but at receiver,
you saw everybody.
Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews didn't play. So,
yeah.
I think
you saw a ton, though. I mean, I don't know how you could have played more people at wide receiver, honestly.
Right. Yeah, Caleb Webb looked good. I thought made some guys miss. Nathan Laycock, I thought looked pretty good. I think one of the best plays I saw was Nathan Laycock run down that linebacker that caught that interception.
Yeah,
down the sideline. I mean,
Harvard transfer.
Yeah.
What did Chaz Nimrod? It was 1 catch, 7 yards. But I remember thinking, wow, that was a pretty good play by him. But did the quarterback have to get out of the pocket there and him make? I'm trying to remember what happened with his play.
I don't remember that.
For some reason, I remember thinking that was a good play by Chaz Nimrod, and it was obviously just one. It might have been. I'm trying.
But I do love that they spread the ball around. I mean, 14 guys had a catch yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Brazzell, like he had 5 catches. He, probably should have had a touchdown.
7. Was it? Yeah. He was the other one that. Right. They were both to him, correct?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought Dante Thornton 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. I mean, is he going to be Javonte Payton from a couple years ago?
He might, and I joked earlier about Brew McCoy being like who I'm most excited for. There was a lot of, and it seemed like hope of, I hope this is Dante Thornton's year. I don't know if there was anything to really back up that thought. Dante Thornton was very impressive in that he looked different than he did last year.
Yeah, my thing with Chattanooga, I'm like, I mean, I know you want to don't want to get destroyed in the box with a really veteran offensive line and good running backs, but they just left those outside receivers one-on-one with those corners way too often.
They pretty much said it. If you're going to beat us, and Tennessee beat them.
Yeah. And that throw to Dante Thornton down the sideline. Oh.
Yeah, it was that safety didn't have a chance.
Over the shoulder, I mean, breadbasket.
And Nico,
that's a throw. I don't know if it's completed last year.
I don't think so. Yeah, it was. I don't know if I tweeted or if I just sent it in group text.
Too open.
Nico did overthrow someone. I was like, overthrow Joe's back. Get Gaston more in the game.
But that's funny that you bring that up because that throw, if it's underthrown, it's probably a pick or broken up.
Sure.
I mean, that was the only
Who
place.
was it that he overthrew?
It might have been Brazel. Poor Brazel. I mean, the guy just couldn't. He wanted the end zone so bad and just couldn't find it.
It wasn't a day for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, he throws such a good deep ball, man. He throws a lot. Listen, thank you for making me look smart, Nico. There are a lot of balls outside the hashes that look really good. Deep ball looks really good. There's reason to be excited about him. There's reason.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way.
No,
either.
and
or didn't yesterday. I mean,
that's a positive. Obviously, there was a turnover, but it wasn't the starters. Obviously, you don't want to see the second teamers do that either. But again, if we're gonna take Chattanooga with a grain of salt, let's take Gaston Moore with a grain of salt as well. Let's not pretend that's going to tell the story of this team.
Yeah, and when at one point when he was 10 for 10 in the first quarter, I was like, I mean, 3 or 4 of these throws are over 20 plus yards.
He should have been 10 for 10 still, not 10 for 11. One criticism I'll give him: tuck that and run, baby. You would have been 3rd and short or first down.
Mm-hmm.
Take your yards. Take what we talk about. Take what the defense gives you. Don't make it hard.
Yeah. When he was 10 for 10, I was like, I mean, it wasn't like he was out there throwing Tom Brady 2-yard, stops and hitches and quick outs. It was very much like deep throws and post. Now there was some of those curls that he throws, especially to Brew. Like, I don't know what it is, but Brew is like, there's not a corner within 5 to 10 yards of him every time he does a hitch or a corner or a curl.
Yeah,
it's like where they go? Where are they bailing to?
Well, I guess
I get it because they see.
Well, you're not going to win.
Dante Thornton wide open.
You're not going to win a battle with Brew, and so you're like, why even get in the mix? And then you're also thinking now you see his body type. You're thinking, well, he's way faster than me.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give myself room to take an angle.
Yeah, I think maybe what I would do is just like off the line, just try to like tackle him.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I would try to get him towards out of bounds and maybe try to push him out and see if I can convince the ref that he ran out of bounds. So he's ineligible.
Way easier said than done.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Good thing is he is far out there. Like he's past the numbers.
It's got to be those wide split plays when we're lined up real wide, and that's when I'd try it. Really, I think the only successful thing I would ever be able to do is just try to be a speed bump for him.
Sure.
Make him hurdle. That'd slow him down a little bit.
There you go.
And when I say hurdle, I mean I would just probably lay flat, so I no risk of getting touched. So maybe just step over me.
Business decision.
Only business decisions.
Yeah.
Help me understand this. And this is the old man Caleb getting mad at the world. So USC returns a kickoff down to LSU's 40. The safety on the play, your safety valve, the guy that stays behind the rest of the kickoff team, makes a good tackle. This guy, though, just returned a 60-yard kickoff, and he gets up and flexes on him. Brother, it ain't a good sign when the returner gets to you. Maybe just shut up and get to the sideline. Yeah.
Got his name called, though.
Good for him. Good for him, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
in my mind, I'm just like, that's embarrassing for your team. Just get to the sideline and shut up.
Yeah.
He made a good play. I'll give him that.
Yeah, calls a fumble, and then we can talk about you playing.
Yeah, why can't you get the ball back?
So question real quick. Any real concern? I guess you kind of mentioned the secondary, but anything else heading into NC State?
Yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily say the secondary is a concern right now.
You just don't know.
Questions, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Unknown for sure.
I think really at safety, I have no. We didn't really learn much at all at safety.
I think the one positive I think you can take with the secondary from yesterday is, and this is really for the whole defense, their pursuit, flying to the ball, physical defense was good. And that's encouraging because I think that's where the secondary really struggled was pursuit when the ball got outside the box. And so I think that's it's not a huge positive for me, but it is a positive. And I think that's encouraging.
I think Jermod McCoy is really good.
I do too.
Now, I don't know if you learned a whole lot yesterday, but in what little action you saw and kind of the look and competition that he was up against, I feel like he is going to be a dude for Tennessee's defense. Ricky Gibson didn't play, so we'll see kind of where they are. I think Jordan Matthews struggled a little bit early on. It seemed to got better as the game went on. But having Ricky Gibson is what?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. I think having Ricky Gibson, I think, is going to be a huge for Tennessee, and it's going to be a huge task with Concepcion and Grayson McCall next week against NC State.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be tested more. And I mean the positive too, you saw it in this game, and I think you'll see it going moving forward. I don't think it changes from Chattanooga to NC State in this regard, but the pressure up front is going to help this secondary a ton this season. If and when they struggle, it's not going to be. I don't think it'll be as alarming as maybe it's been, and I think having similar to how Kamal Hadden, having one really good corner out there last year, at least one really good corner out there, I should say, it does a lot to take away at least part of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you're going to see some of that. But I mean, I don't really know what Jacob's comment was. I don't think we've said anything negative. I didn't have any negatives for the secondary. I also just didn't have a ton of positives, but I did give him some credit for being physical, but maybe I won't do that anymore since it's first game jitters. So let me see what they got next game before I say that.
Yeah.
I take away my positive, Jacob. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if first game jitters has Nico throwing for 314 yards,
let's see it, baby.
I mean, I'm all in. What's going to happen next?
This is going to sound like a negative, but it's the nature of college football today too. I told you at dinner last night, I said, I'm really excited to see Jake Merklinger starting for another SEC program next year. He didn't play much, and I'm kind of just doing the same like Nico Heisman joke after UT Chattanooga. But Jake Merklinger looks like he can be a real stud at quarterback.
4 for 4, 31 yards. I mean,
can't hate it. Hand the ball off really well too. Beautiful handoff.
I'm practicing.
Yeah.
I don't really have a lot. I mean, there wasn't a lot. I think a good thing is I think you're going into NC State relatively healthy. I think Ricky Gibson was held out for NC State. You know, I just don't think you want to kind of risk anything. He's been dealing with a little bit of an injury. Now, I don't know if Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley is going to have much of an impact against NC State, but they were held out due to injury as well. Something kind of lingering, I guess. I will say this. Fall camp is rough. If y'all ever been through a college fall camp, it is not fun. Like you do not go into a season unless you're, Cooper Mays and maybe Brew McCoy or Dylan Sampson, where they're just like, hey, man, you take this day off.
Right.
Well, and for everybody else, it sucks. It is not fun.
It's really funny too. All of the injury talk we heard about Cam Seldon, and he's returning the opening kickoff.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute, this guy's banged up. What are we doing?
Yeah, ahead of schedule.
Yeah. Hey, it's always a positive though. If he's out there at all against Chattanooga, especially if he's returning the opening kickoff, there's no question about his health, which is good.
Yeah. Did have some more questions real quick. Go ahead and get to those. All everything said, what is the ceiling for our secondary? Afraid that one unit will keep us from competing against a top 10 opponent with a decent quarterback.
I want to answer that question, but I would like to note that Kirk Herbstreit now has his dog in the booth, which rocks.
Heck yeah. What's his dog's name again?
I can't remember. That dog lives a life though.
Oh yeah.
PJ everywhere. Now he's in Las Vegas at number 13 LSU versus number 23 USC in the press box. I mean, buddy, we won't live a life that comes close to that.
No. I mean, there's probably like people like wanting to give up their dog to Herbstreit and be like, hey, take this dog and have it have the best life it can have.
Yeah. It also, just watching that one play from LSU's defensive line, I should say, is still hilarious to me that we tried to get sold by the corrupt media that Florida State had the best defensive line in the country.
Yikes.
I mean, I can name 7 off the top of my head better.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Tennessee being one of them.
Tennessee.
Sorry, go for that question again though. That they forced a strip sack. And almost recovered it.
It was what is the ceiling for our secondary?
Probably with the depth this year, your ceiling's probably just a sound secondary. I don't think you might see a guy as athletic as Jermon McCoy make some plays and be a threat. But I think across the board, a secondary as a whole, I think you could just potentially see a really sound secondary. I think would be the ceiling.
And I don't think that's bad at all.
No. Sorry if that sounds like a negative. I don't mean that. I just don't. If there's any expectations of this secondary can be really good and be a threat for Tennessee, I just don't see that in theirs. And I think they should really just want to be sound because you have such a significant threat on the defensive line. Yeah. That if you can just be sound, that entire defense could be dangerous. And so I think that's their ceiling, especially when you look at guys are going to be banged up at some point in the year. And just with the rotational pieces you have there right now, I don't see it. I don't see you talking about the best secondaries in the country and Tennessee being in that mix. But I could easily see them being one of the better defenses if that secondary sound.
Yeah, I thought the secondary was pretty good last year until, Kamal Hadden got hurt. And then it was you saw the depth issues there once he went down for the year. Mm-hmm. I think they should – I don't know if should is a better word. I think corner – I think corner is fine. I don't really have a ton of issues at corner this year where I did in the past. I think this should be your best corner unit for sure.
Which is incredibly encouraging because when you need that secondary to be good is when you play really, really good running teams and you see a lot of man. Now, obviously, safeties have to man up still, but where you really get exposed is those guys on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, safety is where I don't really know what you have because we didn't really learn a lot yesterday.
Physical, baby.
Yeah.
Will Brooks led all in tackles.
I think it's kind of a work in progress.
Sure.
I think it's the ceiling for me, I think, is just don't be the weakest link.
Right.
On this defense. I know what you're saying is, well, there's 3 of them, and you're not going to be better than the defensive line. I think
don't be a weak link.
Yes.
You might be the weakest, but if your weakest is strong, then you're strong. If you're strong, we're all strong.
Exactly.
Jameis Winston.
Yeah, famous words, Jameis Winston. Yeah, I think just don't be that glaring hole.
Sure.
For Tennessee.
That's felt somewhat now in the past few years. Tennessee's had a little bit more than just one position group that's been a hole, and you just ask those few positions or few players to not be glaring holes, and you've always had just 1 or 2. I feel better about this team as a whole because it seems like you could only have one, and so you're just asking that one unit not to be it, and I think they can be. I don't think they can be just a super talented and incredible group, But I think they could be good. I think they could be sound. I think they could be good enough for you to be successful.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot more bodies back there to kind of play around with and see what you have. So maybe like I'm interested to see what this group looks like when they go to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And how different is it from when they started the season? Like I think Javon McCoy, Ricky Gibson will be your starting corners as long as Ricky Gibson is back and healthy.
Sure.
But who's your safety? I think Turrentine's going to be one. I'm interested. Who is your opposite? Is it still going to be Will Brooks at Oklahoma? Is, maybe Christian Charles or Jacoby Thomas or John Slaughter is one of those guys able to make a move on him? And then what does that star position look like with Boo Carter and Christian Harrison? I don't think Christian Harrison played bad. I just think Boo Carter, there's just some plays that he makes that you're just like, that kid's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was weird. He didn't return punts at all. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. Here's my hope. Can I give you my hope with no knowledge background at all? This is not even an educated guess. This is just a hope.
Yeah.
They know what they have in Boo Carter, so they want to see what they have in everybody else.
Okay. I don't hate that. Yeah.
Is that positive enough, Jacob?
It was first game jitters. That's why he didn't return punts.
No. Well, I'm just attacking some guy. I don't know because he
probably bought. Guys who impressed. Oh, we talked.
Obviously, we've named a lot.
Yeah.
Not the Nico guy. He wasn't very impressive. I'm not. Let's see what happens. Landon's not even willing to break out the lay yet. Will the lay make an appearance in Charlotte? Is it official? Did the first half record do it? Did it seal it?
I don't know where it's at. Hold on.
You can wait till Charlotte. He can't hear me. He could have waited till Charlotte. I didn't mean now, but I will accept it now. And I'm just joking, by the way. I do think Nico's impressive. Oh yeah, where did you get that? Baby.
Online.
It's a Tennessee lay though, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But are you just no free ads in this thing, or are you just not telling me so I don't get one to match you?
It's like the Nico 8 apparel.
How much was it?
That.
Can I ask?
It was $18.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
I was really worried you were going to tell me 60,
but plus shipping, so it's like 22.
I was worried you were going to tell me $60.
No, it's not that bad. It is a nice lay, so
I couldn't tell a nice lay from a non-nice lay. I did when you said you got a lay. I kind of thought maybe you just got
like I don't know how like tree. It's kind of long, like it goes down a little bit. So should I like? Can you double it? Is that it?
You're just wearing a choker.
See, like it's not bad if you do it like this.
No, I think you got to wear the full lay.
Okay. Full lay. I'm trapped in this thing now.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ever able to figure. And I like that your headphones are also tangled up in it now.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. I might have to get one. I'll be honest, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know Nico had his own lay apparel line. I thought when you said
hats and I think shirts as well.
Yeah, when you said you got one, I thought you meant you just rolled up to Walmart and got a lay from one of those little cheap ones.
No. Went all out for it. I was a little worried. Like when it came in, I was like, I probably should have waited until at least the first game to like buy one of these. But I'm all in, man. Polynesian Prince, got it. Again, Tom Fornelli, like I know the hype. I don't need you like telling the whole world.
You just shut your mouth.
Yeah. David Chandler's on here said, "Man, I was at the game, and let's just say I'm absolutely sunburnt."
No, not yet. No, there's no chance you were yesterday. That had to happen some other day.
It was extremely hot. But it was also a game where like I didn't feel bad for leaving. Like it was 45-0 at halftime.
Yeah, that is a good point because if it's 75 and perfect, it's hard to justify leaving early.
Yeah.
You can't just go, we're up 45. It's like, it's perfect weather. You got to enjoy this game.
Right.
The game's kind of getting boring. You're not going to see much in the second half. And so you get the excuse out of the way and get to just go at high. You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah. So it was warm, but big crowd. I mean, I know they announced a sellout, but I was like, we've seen this before. But yeah, it was full except for the club seats. But I don't know. I guess they were just downstairs, which I probably would have been too. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we gotta become friends with somebody that's got a luxury box for games like that.
Yeah,
Gotta be more in tune with that crowd.
yeah, we need more people to sponsor this podcast, and then we can buy a box. And then,
okay, here's what we do: everybody donate $1 every year. I think we could get there. It'd be close, but I think we could get there. Everybody donate $1, and then we'll do a random lottery pick for every game. To come sit. It's just me and you. We're selfish. It's like we don't. Joey, I'm sorry, bud. You're a man of the people. You got to be.
He can't lean over a trough up there in the box.
Yeah, sure. You're Joey Boots. Boots on the ground. We need you down there on the ground.
Yeah.
And so it's just me and you, and we invite everybody. We do a lottery for everybody. So it's $1. If you buy $5, you get $1 for a ticket, and you get entered in a lottery to sit up there with us.
I like that. I like that.
And you know what? I won't even sit up there unless it's raining or really hot. So you might need more lottery tickets.
I like that. Tailgate was good.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It got hot there at the end. That was it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all underneath the tents, but then everybody started crowding underneath the tents, and I was like, okay, it's getting warm under here now.
I was about to say it got tough. But I mean, until 10:30, 11, it felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
We got a nice wind. We got a nice breeze coming off the river.
Quick.
Yeah.
And I know that it was an early game, but I mean, it just felt like quicker than normal.
Yeah, we haven't had a noon game since September of last year.
Yeah, that's true. Kent State will be different. All day long.
That's tough, though. That's tough. Those games that it's hard to get. Yeah, it's not Alabama. It's not Florida. Tough to really get the energy up for.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're at a tailgate for 12 hours. It's hard to really get.
There's a lot of people there the other day, or yesterday.
Yeah,
tailgate.
I mean, there were a lot of people.
More than I thought that would show up.
And that's the Danny White, the Josh Heupel, the Nico effect. It's a lot of excitement here right now, man.
Yeah, people
it's
DMing
fun.
me like, "Hey, you got any extra tickets?" I'm like, I don't. Everybody wants them.
I couldn't
giving these away.
I couldn't give mine away at the tailgate because it was so hot. Everyone I asked that wasn't going to the game, they were. It's too hot.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and if you kind of already made up your mind, like, man, like it's hot here, but I'm just gonna get to go home and shower and sit down and watch the game. That'd be hard to break.
Yeah. And we were gonna go to the game up until about 11:30, and it was hot for everybody. But that's beautiful. Our spot's awesome because I got home, which we hung around for a while. We weren't in a hurry, and we got back. I mean, I sat down as the game was kicking off. Halftime, I jumped in the shower real quick just to get the sweat off. I didn't get a good shower in, but I got shower. Just cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah,
sat in the AC. Oh, it was amazing. I got changed right when I got home, which was nice. That was the biggest. Thank God, was getting out of those clothes.
Oh, dude, nothing's better than after you sweat, shower, and just a new change of underwear.
Just changing underwear, because I did right when I got home before I even got in the shower, is just the biggest relief in the world.
Yeah,
when it's that hot outside.
Yep.
Is that the greatest feeling in the world that is easy to obtain?
Yeah. I love a shower, like just a shower in general. Like if I go outside, not even if I'm just like sweating, just like to wash the day off.
Buddy, Monty, if I hadn't worn underwear yesterday, brother, I'd still be chafing today. It was that hot, bud. It was bad.
There was one guy we were walking out and
wobbling.
No, just. I mean, his shorts were a different color because the amount of sweat he had.
Do you remember how hot it was at Florida in 2016?
Yeah.
I chafed so bad that day. And I went directly home and laid down, just face down on the bed, just miserable. You text me like, we're going out. Beat Florida the first time in, I don't know, 12 years at that point. I was like, yeah, I cannot. And you're like, no, we're going. I was like, if you bring me Gold Bond, I'll go out. And you did. But if I hadn't had that, I wouldn't have moved when I got home. It was miserable.
I don't remember going out.
Yeah, we went to we were at Cool Beans when I got the call about a couch on my front lawn being on fire. Yep. Was my couch. I was not participating in said couch fire.
We got the gold ball. That's all that matters.
That's it. That's all that matters.
I have some. I buy some every year just in case.
Yeah. We saw Ethan Wolf out that night.
Okay.
Not ringing a bell. Caught a touchdown pass that day.
I don't, man.
I think talking about we talk about troughs and how people they're uncomfortable, the amount of people that talk at them and stuff like that. I think one of our buddies looked over at the trough at Cool Beans and told him nice catch.
Oh wow.
Tough scene. Yeah,
I do remember running into a former high school teacher at the tailgate that day.
Florida tailgate?
Yeah.
Former at that time or former now?
Former at that time. Yeah, we weren't in high school.
Right. Well, were they high school? Are they still a high school teacher?
Not at South Dole, I don't think.
Okay. Yep. Same wavelength.
Okay. That was that day, right?
I don't remember, brother. I'm sorry.
I feel like it was because we hung up the gator. I remember doing that.
That was not that year.
Oh, that was 2018.
Yeah.
Dang. They all run
time
together.
flies when you're having. Well, we weren't really having fun at that point, but time flies. Period. I guess. Yeah.
We were having fun in 2016 at that point.
Yeah, that point in the season we were.
Yeah.
We'd been to the Battle of Bristol. We'd conquered Bristol. We were about to beat Georgia. A&M was fun, and it was not fun. Then it was fun, and then it was not fun.
Yeah.
And then I had fun that night. Yeah.
And choked it all away. Hey.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that.
New season, 1-0, baby. That's all that matters. We're 1-0 right now.
Can't go 16-0. How many games would you play now?
Yeah, I think
depends if you get a bye.
Right.
So if you
because
we would get a bye if we're undefeated. So then
correct.
You play quarter, semi, final. That'd be 16 games.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
16-0.
Yeah.
Can't go 16-0 till you go 1-0.
There you go. NC State week, ready for it. Did we even mention guys who impressed? I don't even.
No, I think I started on Nico and then we got into the Lay situation there. But Nico's an obvious one. I think all the running backs we wanted to really see, and that's Sampson, Selden, and then Deshaun Bishop gets his first of many touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was
almost had two.
Yeah, he was born in the shadows of the checkerboards, and now he lives there.
That one where
you merely adopted the checkerboards; he was born in them.
Yeah, he fell for like 15 yards on that one. I thought he was going to finally catch his balance and make it into the end zone.
I think that was the two plays before, or before the touchdown. Is it that one? I thought, or maybe he just almost broke the tackle. I can't remember, but I jumped up. I thought he was going to break it and go.
Yeah.
Make the guy miss and go, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then about the time I got settled down from him not scoring that one, he scored. So that was very comforting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, both those guys averaging 10 yards a carry is pretty impressive.
Love to see it.
I thought Tyree West is obviously one. I think it was big for him. I mean, he had a really good Citrus Bowl. And you're like, okay, this is a guy who can really be like a true threat along that defensive front and kind of just built on that and had a great game yesterday. So hopefully he's able to continue it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to real quick on the offense side of the ball and Monty said it, the entire offense. Yeah, there was a lot of impressive stuff on that side of the ball. But guys that I kind of wanted to see be a little more impressive that were Dante Thornton and Brew really kind of showed up for me. And then a guy you've been high on, and I think everybody really has been, but Ethan Davis.
Yeah.
Looked really good at the tight end position.
Oh, yeah. Don't get that guy started behind me on number 0.
He's fired up about it.
He's like, when did they start doing that?
I love when people, which I'm guilty of that sometimes, but I love when people ask that question. And sometimes, but not often, it's that year was the first time. Usually it's when did they start doing that? 5 years ago they started doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's been for zero. It's been a few years though.
Yeah, my wife didn't know that either. And I was like, well, Danico Slaughter was zero for
I think this is just the second year in high school football, isn't it?
Is it?
College was before that. I just remember you asked Paul Shelton if anybody was going to wear zero last August. So I'm thinking that was the first time for high school.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's another one?
The defense side of the ball, a guy that I was excited to see, and there were a lot of impressive guys on defense too. Arion Carter looked good. Keenan Pili flew to the ball. Jeremiah T-Lander. I think he was second in tackles.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
And that's a great game for him. Like a team that just runs the football, he's going to eat up tackles.
He looks like he should be wearing a neck roll.
Yeah.
I don't know why his shoulder pads sit like that. If he's going that classic we talked about yesterday, that little white, like, I'm talking about, like the shoulder pad, like protector thing that you wear under. His shoulder pads sit real high. Looks like he should have a neck roll.
He, I saw one play of his where he, like, two linemen climb at the same time and like try to like block him, and he just like fights through both of them and gets in on the tackle. And I'm like, dude, that dude is a freak.
Yeah.
Because I don't care like how, like what Chattanooga is competitive wise. Two offensive linemen at the same time get their hands on you, and you're able to fight through that much weight and then get in on the tackle.
You love to see it.
Yeah,
you absolutely love to see it.
Another one for me is Jermod McCoy.
Yeah. That is another thing about the defense as a whole is, there weren't a ton of turnovers. Obviously, you had the block punt, which is special teams, and fumble. And you'd ideally see more, but it felt like there were a ton of negative plays, which was nice to get into the backfield. Two guys I'll mention that were a big part of that. And again, you could go through the defensive line and name a bunch that impressed, but I thought Elijah Simmons and Omar Norman-Lott were really impressive at the defensive tackle position.
Yeah, agreed. Did you see that kick?
The missed kick?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said shank. I didn't see it shanked. I just saw it. I saw it be no good. I saw the guy miss it right.
Chattanooga, they missed a short field goal.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the LSU at USC game. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Where just an absolute shank.
Oh, but he went a little above the red arrow. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like me on Heisman.
Yeah. Tough look. Speaking of Chattanooga too, one of the commentators, and let me ask the people out there. I thought Landon would know, and he was unsure, so we were on the same page on this. Jay Gibson, a tight end for Chattanooga, caught a pass, and one of the announcers said, Jay Gibson from Cleveland, and he said the Cleveland Kenny Chesney sings about often. I don't think Kenny Chesney has a single song about Cleveland, Tennessee, and if he does, why does he? I can't think of one. If they had an 80,000 seat stadium in Cleveland, he probably would wear a Cleveland high school jersey. But I don't think they have that, so he hasn't pandered to them yet.
It looks like Anything But Mine is a song written. Or is
about
a song
Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah. The song follows a young teenage boy and girl as they spend their last night together before he leaves for his hometown of Cleveland, Tennessee.
Interesting.
I don't really know that song off the top of my head.
Honestly,
what I Googled.
Still does not sing about it often, but I will say that's a great pull by that play-by-play guy or color. I don't know what he did, but what his call was. But if that's accurate, great pull. I'll give him credit. Do songs have backgrounds like that where they like, the main character in that song's from Cleveland, and now the song's about Cleveland, Tennessee at that point?
Yeah, like how did he know that? I mean, I guess
maybe the song mentions it, but that sounded like it was a story for a second. That
He had to pull that. I mean, he had to have that ready, which is great. Well, I mean, do your research. That's awesome. But
that's a little too much research.
yeah. He knew it was going to be that big of a blowout. He's like, man, I got to do something.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of Tennessee fans love Kenny, so he knew what to say. He knew the right buttons to press.
Yeah.
That's it. A lot of guys impressed for me yesterday, though, but I'm not going to go down that entire list. Those are just some guys that I was excited to see impress and that I thought were worth noting.
I'll go the 700 yards of total offense is unreal when your starters only played a half. I mean,
we should have had 1,000, but yeah, sure.
They had 490 at halftime.
That's insane.
Love it. And I mean, you're going against a team this week who I know, like, you can't put all your stock into these games, but a team that did not look like they should be a top 25 team.
Yeah. And I like that you said a ton of stock because it's very, very dumb to look at Tennessee versus Chattanooga and say, well, they should do that. Nothing they did should have been impressive. And then conversely, look at NC State versus Western Carolina and go, well, they just can't get up for that game. It's not a big game. It's hard to play that well. And when you don't really have much to play for, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you should buy on either side every share. But we can look at both those games and say Tennessee took care of business, NC State didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And say, well, here's what NC State kind of failed to do. And one of those, I mean, the first thing that stood out to me, we didn't get to watch a ton of that because we were recording Thursday's episode, but right before we go in, NC State's offensive line can't help get a 3-yard gain on 3rd and short. It's like that's something that they're going to have to really, really address and dig into because you're playing a much better defensive line come week 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be huge for this secondary to, make sure Kevin Concepcion and Justin Jolie, who is Tennessee fans know of that name. He was at UConn and was in the transfer portal, and Tennessee was in on him, took a visit here, ended up at NC State, and then Noah Rogers, a transfer from Ohio State. I mean, they have some weapons on offense, but I think that offensive line struggled. I think Grayson McCall struggled. I mean, he threw 380 yards, but he threw 14 incompletions against Western Carolina.
Yeah, he struggled with just about every type of pass you could. He struggled with deep balls. He struggled with balls over the middle, outside the hashes. I mean, just about everything you can struggle with as quarterback, he struggled with the other night. And
he played the whole game. Yeah. I mean, that was one thing that they had to do.
Had to.
Yeah. I mean, they had to play him the whole 4 quarters where Nico just got to play 2 and he was done. But yeah, it's a red flag when your quarterback has to throw 40 passing attempts to beat Western Carolina.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll see what we can do. Excited to be there. We're both going to be there. So, I guess we'll figure out exactly what we want to do. Maybe go to a bar or maybe set up a tailgate. Not 100% sure, but if we do, we'll let everybody know.
Yeah. We'll talk week 1 in college football. First, I want to tell you guys about Great A Grounds. Great A Grounds is a local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. Owned and operated by 2 educators, both teachers in the Johnson City area, being educators. They, of course, love to support the community and their students. They do that by giving back 5% of all sales to a nonprofit organization that supports students all over the Tri-Cities called Coalition for Kids. That money goes directly towards keeping a classroom at Coalition for Kids stocked with the necessary supplies needed for students. That is their full-time fundraiser, but they also do fundraisers throughout the year for different organizations. One that we're really excited for that's partnered up with our golf tournament coming up in September this month. They're supporting the Special Olympics of Greater Knoxville. So you can buy the gold medal blend, and a portion of those sales will go to Special Olympics of Greater Knoxville. we're really excited about that. Excited for Grade A Grounds to be there that morning, serving some gold medal blend. Excited for that whole day. Go to gradeagrounds.com. Use promo code GOVOLS, capital G, capital V, GOVOLS. Go check them out today. That's for 10% off. We got a lot of people talking about the golf tournament at the tailgate. So got some excitement built up around that. We're excited for that day. That's a bye week. We couldn't be apart from everybody for even 1 week. So we'll take our football watching talents to the golf course. It'll be a good time. So if you haven't signed up, go do that right now. You can find all that information on our Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, wherever you shop. Go do that. Go sign up. A few teams left. We're still we're coming in the closing days of whole sponsors as well. So make sure if you've got a business, we'd love to partner with you and have you be a part of that day as well. So go check that out.
Do it. All right, college football.
Week 1, a very mild week 1, I think, is the way to say it. It was fun. It was good to have football on the TV all day. One good part about watching the game at home was I got to turn on the Clemson-Georgia game, but that ended up being just Clemson sucks. Clemson,
Yeah.
Dabo, fraud. He's a fraud.
Yes.
3 points? And it was 6-0 at halftime. And it was 6-0. Georgia was moving the ball better. Georgia looked better. But that's one of those that if you're a Clemson fan and you kind of get to that half, 6-0, you're thinking, man, they really outplayed us for 2 quarters. But it's just 6. Like we're a score away from being in the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel pretty good about that. You're thinking, okay, we can figure this out. We got a chance. We're in the game, man. And then, I mean, somebody check Dabo's FanDuel account at this point. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second half adjustments. See ya.
I don't really care much about South Carolina than saying they suck. Someone check that Old Dominion quarterback's FanDuel account. That was insanity. Not tuck the ball twice in a row after fumbling it. Insanity. And they don't even score again. They have opportunities to score again. They suck too bad they can't even score again. They got handed that by an Old Dominion quarterback.
Mm-hmm. When are people going to stop going to Clemson?
Kind of already have, haven't they?
I mean, they get like big recruits every year, and I'm just like, I mean, why? What is appealing to Clemson? You have Dabo Swinney just like preaching about how he's too big to take transfers. Take some transfers, you idiot. Look at the score.
That's what I was about to say is that, yes, they're getting some freshmen. The transfer portal only works one way, though, for Clemson.
Yeah.
And it's not the right way. I'll tell you that.
No. I mean, they're done. And I'm cool with that because I absolutely think there is a clear correlation between when Tennessee was god-awful and Clemson was really good.
For sure. There's a lot of overlap in recruiting.
Yeah. So, and like there are some guys that like Tennessee recruited that are on their roster and you know, on the box score, but it's like, dude, I mean, what is appealing to that right now?
And they'll still be competitive in the ACC. The ACC has one good team.
Yeah. But
and to be fair, we don't know how good because they just dog walked an awful Florida team.
We have Casey on Unnecessary Roughness. I mean, she's as confused as the guy sitting behind me on Saturday. Has no clue Cade Klubnik lost the Orange Bowl 2 years ago.
Yeah. Billy Napier's getting fired before Tennessee game, right?
Yeah, I think so. Does Dabo Swinney get fired?
I don't think he gets fired. I think there's potential.
He gives it up.
See, I started to say maybe he leaves after this year. I think the only way he would leave is if he won an ACC championship game. I don't think he would leave on his own on quote-unquote bad terms. Like, I don't think he would leave and say, I brought you another ACC championship. I think he's too self-righteous.
Yeah. Well,
for a guy that loves Jesus, that man has not quite humbled himself. I know that.
well, the bad thing about all this, it looks like Georgia is just Georgia again. So that's kind of depressing.
Yeah, but I mean, I just assumed that.
Yeah, like we knew it was going to happen. I was just there was a little bit of hope that like maybe they're not as good.
Maybe they'll all get arrested this
Yeah.
this offseason. Yeah.
And then they go get another Lad McConkey out of the transfer portal. Some white guy running go routes.
Yeah. You know who looks really, really impressive, and I'm sure this will get worse as the year goes on, but they look good right now. Penn State looks good.
Who did they
West Virginia.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll look that good for 12 games. They'll still go 10-2.
Yeah.
But
lose
I think they look good. They look good right now. It's half the battle, right?
Well, and like that's the thing with that conference. If you can lose to Ohio State and Michigan and still get in, and Michigan doesn't look good.
That was a tough go around for them, huh?
And Oregon doesn't look good.
Oregon seems like they could figure it out. But yeah, Michigan, they just lost a whole lot. They did return quite a bit, but they lost a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Gabriel had 380 yards and 2 touchdowns. How the hell do you throw 380 yards and only scored 24 points?
That's good. That's a good question.
I mean, that red zone offense must be abysmal.
Yeah.
He threw the ball 49 times yesterday against Idaho.
You know who looks, I mean, again, they played an opponent similar to Chattanooga, but who looks really good, and it kind of just makes me laugh that people think Nick Saban is the same as all these other coaches who get fired. And they think he's like the Jimbo Fisher or the Butch Jones. They're like, oh, he's gone. And he got fired and they suck. No, he retired and he left that program in phenomenal shape. And Alabama's going to be fine for at least this year.
Yeah.
We'll see going forward. I'll stay on that take. I mean, I think Kalen DeBoer's going to be fine with his talent, but let's see how he maintains it.
Mm-hmm.
But this year he'll be fine. This year they'll be a playoff. I'll just say they'll be a playoff team. I think they'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, and I think he's recruited good enough at Washington to like.
They'll be competitive.
Yeah,
they'll continue being competitive.
Alabama's a national brand too, so like it's easy for him to go in California and be like, "Hey, I'm now the head coach at Alabama. Come here instead of Washington."
Yep.
And like that's not a too difficult of a sell, I don't think. Now, I don't think he'll get some guys because of that, and just not being Nick Saban, you're not going to pull that. Oh, I'm Nick Saban card anymore.
But Nick Saban will just call you and say, I'm Nick Saban. Go to
Exactly. Yeah.
I loved his comment on College Game Day that he said, you guys keep talking about the $20 million rosters. If you don't pay the right guys, it doesn't matter. I did also go back to South Carolina real quick. Did Lenore Sellers, I didn't see that play that you talked about until today. Do you think he put on the goggles after that when he realized maybe he can't see as well as he thought?
I don't know.
I mean, he ran right into him.
You went and watched it?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how.
Yeah. I have no clue. I mean, maybe he was just seeing red and like, I mean, he's just like, I gotta hit somebody. Like, sorry,
you're next.
Yeah,
you're in my way. I don't care if you have the football. Man, Butch Jones barely escaped Central Arkansas, beat him by 3.
Heck yeah. Hey, 1-0.
I bet that was a hot press conference. All 4 media members. I like when he goes on rants and it pans over and it's 4 guys. Like, dude, I bet his ego can't take that at all.
Ohio State look good. Only up 17 to.
I was about to say they look fine. They struggled in the first half, and I think that's
it was first game jitters, Caleb. So.
Yes, I don't. I'm not putting a ton of stock in one half, let alone one game, but they did struggle against what I would imagine is still a not good Akron team. But yeah, they definitely figured it out in the second half.
What about
Boise
Ole
State.
Miss?
Who's that dude that had 6 touchdowns?
Oh yeah, who was their
And
running
I'm gonna guess they have no defense because that was 56-45 game.
Yeah, Georgia Southern. Is that who they
Yeah.
played?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was close because I had Boise State in a lot of my parlays. That didn't hit because Florida sucks.
Yeah. Hey, I'm assuming you didn't stay up to watch a Kentucky game.
No, I was dog tired yesterday.
Apparently, what's his name said that Gerald Mincy said that Kentucky's offensive pace is faster than Tennessee's.
What was that score?
31-0. They ran so math can work out here. 42 offensive plays.
Definitely faster than Tennessee.
So that's an awfully fast offense. Teams at John Tarleton run more than 42 plays offensive plays.
I mean, we ran 46 run plays.
He really is just a moron, isn't he?
I mean, he has no clue. He's as clueless as the guy that sits behind me. This show has been just crapping on this dude behind me. He seems like a nice guy. He just had zero clue, and I just thought it was hilarious.
I wonder, and I don't know if I think I saw it and someone. I didn't watch the video of him saying it, so I don't know the exact content, like what he said. But if he even alluded to that, that is a moron.
He also said that Kentucky's going 10-0. So, I mean,
what if they do go 10-0 and drop their last 2? Do we have to say he was right?
I guess you do. Yeah.
Okay. They were 10-0 at some point.
Yeah. Any more games? Michigan looked rough. And did their quarterback get hurt? Orgy?
I don't know. I didn't watch that game.
He only had 2 passing attempts for 3 yards. So
sounds about right for what they want to do with him. Yeah, he must have. Davis Warren it was 15-25. He only ran the ball 5 times. Alex Orgy.
So he's not the starting quarterback.
Oh, what? I thought he was.
I thought he was too, but apparently Davis Warren started.
So they're using him the same way they used him last year? Come in and run the ball twice?
Yeah. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
I did have one more just really team I want to talk about because I still think Notre Dame sucks. Texas A&M sucks. Connor Wegman sucks.
Yeah.
Why did we have to play their best quarterback last year because of injury? Max Johnson's way better than Connor Wegman.
And he's out for the year.
So dumb. Would he have started this year?
He's at North Carolina.
That's right. He broke his leg. We talked about this. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Broke his leg? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like Notre Dame is going to get Riley Leonard killed.
Yes. It was just fun seeing, and it is obviously a better opponent than you would like to play as your opener as a head coach, but it was pretty funny to see Texas A&M get real fired up about Elko and then drop this one.
He ran the ball 12 times.
Do you think they do that dumb fight song that's just about the University of Texas? Do you think they sing that song really sad after losses? Because if they don't, fake fans.
Yes.
Okay. Then I respect it. I respect the cultism.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the only reason why Arch Manning went there.
No, I was talking about A&M singing that fight song that's about Texas.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just all about Texas. It's very weird. It's about brutally injuring their Longhorn. That's it.
it's such a weird university.
Yeah, I think PETA needs to get onto that and not let them sing that song anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why we're like, oh, it's at A&M. You know, that could be. We should have known. We should.
I didn't think they would be
beat Notre Dame.
I didn't think they'd be worse than Notre Dame. Notre Dame's not good.
I mean, if there's one team to beat a Colt, it's the Catholics.
Fair rebuttal. You have any questions?
Why does Florida suck? Is Miami good? How about that? Is that a question?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Miami could be a playoff team this year. Florida sucks.
Who is the worst team you saw that won?
Oh, even harder. Worst team I saw that won. Oh, Vanderbilt. Far and away, Vanderbilt. Virginia Tech they might be the worst team in college football. And Vanderbilt's a close second. We got to see a true battle of the Giants week 1.
Yeah. South Carolina's up there. I think Colorado, I think you have to put them up there the way that they won.
Someone tweeted that Vanderbilt looks pretty good this year. And I think they deserve to get kicked in the balls repeatedly over and over. I watched that game because I ended up betting Virginia Tech live. So I watched it. That was not good football. And Vanderbilt made a lot of what you would call good plays because, and only because, Virginia Tech sucks. Virginia Tech is the worst team in the state of Virginia.
What I want to know is how in the world, watching that game, Virginia Tech being a 14.5-point favorite is insane.
The fact that Virginia Tech even came back and was in the game and should have had a chance to win the game tells you everything you need to know about Vanderbilt.
Yeah. South Carolina looks really bad.
Vanderbilt does have that one running back that looks pretty good, but that's not going to last long behind that offensive line in the SEC. He's not going to finish the season.
Yeah. Does Beamer and Napier get fired first?
Napier, because Beamer's not yet on the hot seat. Different expectations at that Florida job.
Dude, that dude looks stressed.
Yeah. There's a way Beamer could get fired this year. I don't see that playing out. But there's a way he could. And I think it would be at the end of the season if he did.
Yeah.
Or like right at the end of the season.
Yeah.
South Carolina's awful. They'll beat Vandy I don't know if they're playing this year or not, but they would beat Vandy.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. South Carolina's awful. That truly, I didn't watch the whole game. The little bit I saw, that was honestly mesmerizing because Old Dominion didn't look that good.
No.
Their quarterback was 22 for 38. Their leading rusher had 56 yards. Old Dominions. And that was a 4-point win for them only because Grant Wilson doesn't know how to carry a football. I'm not here to bash a guy playing football at Old Dominion. But the fact of the matter is, you didn't tuck the football 2 plays in a row and fumble both of them.
Yeah.
That's stupid more than anything. I'm not even going to say you suck at football. You're just stupid.
There's no way in hell that I fumble, get it back, and my next play I'm fumbling. There's no way that.
And almost gave up a safety
happens.
in that sequence too. Never tries to throw the football.
Yeah. There's no way. I'm interested to see what the rankings look like next week. Do they kind of just don't put a lot of?
I think they'll probably I think all the ranked teams that people kind of knew were going to be there.
You think Oregon stays at 3?
No, I would be shocked if Oregon stays at 3, but I don't think they'd drop too far because Texas will jump them. Alabama may. I don't think Ole Miss would.
Okay.
It depends what the voters say about A&M if Notre Dame jumps up high. That depends. Yeah. Clemson will drop far, I think.
Yeah, them being in front of Tennessee is laughable.
I wonder how much Miami would jump.
I mean, they're going to go all in on Miami. They always do.
Now? Yeah. For sure.
And Cam Ward is good, but also that Florida team is god-awful.
Yeah. 100%.
All right, guys, go check out Autograph. Download the app today. All of your articles, podcast in one app. You just go on there, use referral code issues, and create your account. Get your favorite team. Get all the articles, all the podcasts that you listen to and read every single day, all in one spot. And you get rewarded for that. They'll have exclusive rewards that you can cash in by just reading and listening to those podcasts and just being on the app. Right now, they're doing tickets where there are 0 fees. You heard that here. 0 fees. Again, go check out Autograph. Use that referral code issues and get signed up today.
Go check them out.
Yep. Also, go check out roback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. I'm wearing just a little casual gray shirt from Roback right now. Love it. Love everything they have. Love the polos. They still have some of the Tennessee State polos left, so get those for football season. Everybody needs one. Again, go check them out. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase.
I'll do it.
All right, real quick, rapid fire, most important.
Let me ask you if this sounds familiar.
I can't hear it. Still can't hear it.
What? Stroke got played in Neyland, baby.
Oh yeah. That was cool. Also like the band doing the tribute to the baseball team was really cool.
We should just do it and not ask permission. They might have made a really cool logo. You know how NFL quarterbacks get logos?
You talking about
Tony V? That V with just Tony across it. All right. Well, stop, Joey. Jeez.
Joey must be in rough shape today.
Yeah. That trough really did it to him.
Yeah. He got pee all over.
Can we share that video, Joey, in the live version?
Yeah. That dude's ready to get out of here.
That'll be my fail. Joey gave us a photo of him peeing in the trough, and it was if you're familiar with iPhones, it was a live photo. We'll leave it at that.
That is crazy. I mean, his whole arm was on the wall. That's insane.
Well, he did say it was when he was drinking, so it does make sense. We shouldn't have imagined he was just upright and still, like he's all the way in. I respect that he said he did it, and he did it.
Yeah, this man went
100%.
Heads up, 7-Up on that wall. That's crazy.
Good, like what, 3rd grade callback? Probably the last time I played Heads Up 7-Up.
Yeah. I think my most important was the band. Also just Nico.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just Nico. And football just being back in general. It feels right. Fail of the week.
It was Joey. Sorry, Joey.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you the most important for being a man of your word. You did it.
Yeah. There you go. My fail is, did you see the Florida player just sitting in the bushes?
No.
After a play.
Did you? That's awesome. Did you see Miami's players going over to Florida's recruiting section and telling them to come to Miami? And
yeah,
I love that the Florida staff members are telling them to go away when you just kind of have to take it at that point. You look really weird telling them to go. Those guys can hear and see you yelling at them. Just let it be and take it for what it just is what it is.
Yeah, also the people that Florida's recruiting right now. I mean, I don't know where else they're going to go. Yeah. It's not like they're racking in recruits and 5 stars and everything like that. It's a tough sell in Florida right now.
100%. 100%.
Now I do wish Tennessee could play like Miami did in the Swamp. That would be nice for once. But
don't have to worry about it this year though. That's good enough.
Exactly. And then I also had just Lenoris Sellers just tackling his own running back.
That should have gotten recorded as a tackle, in my opinion.
Yeah. Get faster. All right.
Guys, appreciate it. No, that's it. We'll be back this week. TBD because of the Charlotte travel dates, stuff like that. But we'll be back this week previewing NC State.
Yep.
Week 2 on the horizon.
Go Vols. Got to go 2-0 before you can go 16-0. So let's get the party started. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.